Hey, thanks for stopping by and clicking on this video. I record under the artist name of audiotech Audio. I have releases on Traxrecords of Chicago, and if you would like to know more about me, you can check out this video here, or you can visit my website at www.auditechaudio.com. So today we're going to take a look at some simple audio editing techniques. So let's dive straight in. So here we are in Logic, and today we're going to be taking a look at normalizing audio, using a gain tool, time stretching audio, reversing audio, selecting individual hits from an audio file, chopping and rearranging, fades for audio clips, and then finally bouncing in place. So what I have here is a drum loop that I've taken from my loop library. I'm going to take a listen to that now. So this audio file, it doesn't have required volume levels that we would like for it to be able to be mixed into other audio tracks in a song. So what we're going to do is have a look at how we can maybe just boost the audio level automatically of this audio file so that it's competitive with other tracks that we want to mix. So in most DAWs, you'll have a function called normalization. So to do that in Logic, you just select your audio file, go to functions, and then you're looking for normalize region gain like this. And then you'll see a little menu pops up. And here you can set your target level for the normalization. Now what you don't want is for your audio file to be clipping or distorted. So normally when I normalize, I set it at -1 dB just to give me a tiny bit of headroom. So if I click apply there, then you just see then the audio file then increased in gain or volume. So let's take a listen to it now. You go much louder and much more competitive with other tracks that we maybe want to mix it in with. So that's normalization tool. Next, we're going to take a look at gain, and your DAW may have this tool. If not, there may be some settings that you need to just adjust. But in Logic, you can click here, and then you can go down and select the gain tool here. And then when you put your mouse over the audio clip, you get an option then to click and drag and raise the level of the audio track like this. So if I drag that up, then set that to, again, around -1. And then if I just play this one back. So that's a tool that you should have in your DAW that you can use then to help you just adjust the gain levels of clips and help you get your levels of your tracks to match other levels of tracks within your song. Let's move on to time stretching. So what you might find is that your tempo of your track might be different to the tempo of the actual audio file that you've imported, and you want this to match the tempo of the track that you're using. And when I play this back, you can hear that it sounds quite fast. So the original tempo of this track is 175 BPM, and my tempo of my project is 128. So what I want to do is I want to get this audio file to match the tempo of my project. So what I do is I can click on the end of the file here, hold down Option on Mac, and then I just drag that out to the end of the loop section there. And then Logic will time stretch this so that each of the hits match up with the quantization of the project. So let's just have a listen to that now. And we can do this the other way as well. I can select this and make it even shorter. So now it will play even faster. Which obviously doesn't sound too good. So let's just undo that. So that's a good way of getting your loops to match a project tempo so that you can take samples or drum loops from other songs or tracks and then use them in your songs as well. So next we're going to have a look at reversing audio. So let's take a listen to this. So we've got our loop once again. So what we can do here is we can take certain parts of the songs and we can then select them like this, and then just cut them and then reverse them like this, so that we have something that sounds like this now. So that can make for some interesting edits within your song. Also, if you wanted, just reverse the whole audio file like this. So if we just select all of it and then reverse it. And again, create interesting backspin effects that you might want to use in your music. So that's reversing audio. Next, we're going to take a look at individual hits. So what I've done here is I've just selected different hits from within the audio file so that I can then start using them in my track. Maybe I just want to borrow the snare or the kick drum from this audio file and then build a whole track using those two samples to start with, and then add other percussive elements to those samples later on. So if we just do this very quickly and have a listen to what that sounds like. So I've taken the kick and the snare from here, and then basically what I can do is I can drag those out and then just add them out like this, so that we have we've taken the individual hits from the audio file and just then rearranged them into a sequence there, which we can then use as a basis for our songs. So that's just taking individual hits. Next, we're going to take a look at chopping and rearranging. So I've got the original audio file here we started with, and then what I've done then is I've extended that out and I've taken the individual hits like I've shown previously and then just rearranged them and resequenced them and reordered them to create a fill at the end here. So let's have a listen to this now. If we have a look at the end of the track here, you can see that your file has been chopped up, taken the individual hits, and then just basically reordered them into a different sequence, reversed some of them as well, just to make them a little bit more interesting as a fill to the audio track. Again, you can use that then, rearrange these in any order you want. You can also do this with vocals, you can do this with instrument samples as well. So if you find a nice track that you like and you want to sample, or some vocals you want to sample from a track, you can take their audio and then chop them up and then rearrange them and resequence them to make it a little bit more interesting or different in your own music. So something we're going to have a look at now is fades, because when you start to chop and rearrange samples, you might find that your audio is not cut exactly where you want, and you might then have, let's say, some clicks and pops from the audio samples that don't sound too pleasant. So we'll just take a listen to this. So let's just select these audio files here. And what we can do then is we can select and add fades to our audio so that we don't get any abrupt clicks or pops where the audio ends. So if I was to zoom in onto one of these files here, okay, you can see that there's some information here and it stops abruptly. It's not a nice smooth line like this, and this can cause sometimes some clicks or pops and noise. Or if, for example, if we look at this file here, you were to start your sample or cut your sample here, then that means that you might want to add a fade at the beginning, just like this, so you don't get any clicks or pops that would then cause problems in your track or make your track sound, let's say, undesirable with some clicks, distortion or things like this. So that's something to be considered. There is just adding fades to the end of audio samples that you decide to cut or chop when you're rearranging. And then finally, you're just going to have a look now at bouncing in place. So after you have done all of your edits and you're happy with all the rearranging that you've done with your drum samples, you can then just select all of your audio, and then in most DAWs there will be an option that will say bounce and regions in place. There will also be a shortcut for that, or you can join something like this. So if I just press those keys there, that shortcut, say Command J, and that basically then creates one audio file. So that means then that I can just simply drag all of that audio file around easily and use that then in other parts of or sections of the song. So that is some basic audio editing techniques that I wanted to just cover in this week's video. Hope you found this information useful. If you do and you'd like to see more content like this, then don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.